Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host Lungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. Today's movie is a movie that I've watched before, and I remember when I was checking the movies to watch this time. So I was going through Netflix because I usually go through Netflix, check the movies and see if it's a movie that I want to watch, because I have a type of genre that I can watch. Like, I don't do horror, I don't do some kinds of movies that have a lot of fighting. I don't do that, but I enjoy drama, I enjoy comedy, I enjoy romantic movies. I've said this before, and so I have to go through them, read a little bit about them. Watch the trailer if I have to, just to see if it's a movie I can sit down and watch, and then record for this reviews. So when I was doing that, I remember watching it. I was like, have I watched this movie before? Have I done a review of it, or what's happening? Because I remembered something. But then I was like, okay, fine. So I wrote it to be up for this day. And I thought, okay, yeah, I'm going to watch it and see how it is. So when I started watching, I was still like, I feel like I've seen this for girls. I've seen this for ladies somewhere. I don't know. Until I watched this scene with this man that I hated in this movie. And then I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely watched it. And I remember hating this guy because he was one of the worst men in film. And I really, really, really hated him. Like, totally, because he was such a gaslighter. He was a narcissistic. I don't know what to use that is okay for this platform, but yeah. I hated that guy when I watched it, and I was like, yeah. And then he started coming back to me, and I was like, okay, let me sit down, watch it all over again, and then do this review. So yeah, like, I hope you have watched it, and if you haven't, please make sure you go and watch it, because that guy will drive you mad. He will drive you mad, especially at the end when you realize, okay, he was doing things that you would see and be like, this is a bad person. But then at the end, when you realize exactly what he was doing, let me just leave it at that and start the review, because I don't want to get worked up before I even start telling the movie, because I'm already very, very upset. So today's movie is called Love, Sex, and 30 Candles. Okay? Love, Sex, and 30 Candles is a 2023 South African romantic drama based on the novel The 30th Candle by Angela Maholwa. I hope that's how you say the name. And it was directed by Stefina Zwane. Hope that's how you say the name as well. So, the cast members include Amogelang Chidi. She plays Dikeledi. Bahumi Madisakwani. She plays Nolwazi. Candice Mudisele. She plays Linda. Gabi Sile Shabalala. She plays Shade. Lunga Shabalala plays Tebogo. Nicholas Nkuna plays Lehumo. Clementine Musimani plays Sifokazi. Tandi Matlaila plays Palesa. Sifo Mbele plays Lennon. Meme Dishego, by the way, she's late. She passed on earlier this year. She plays Mom Daphne. She was, I think, Linda's mom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think she was Linda's mom. Loyiso McDonald plays Winston. Terence Bridget plays Efrey. Anthony Oyesemi plays Professor Kwame, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, I'd urge you to continue watching this. But if you do not like spoilers, please leave this platform right now, go to Netflix, watch the movie, then come back and listen to me and what I'm going to be saying in this review, and tell me if you agree with me or if you do not. Okay? Because this is official spoiler alert. So, Love, Sex, and 30 Candles centers around these four beautiful ladies. That is Dikeledi, Nolwazi, Linda, and Shade. These beautiful babes are all in relationships in their own way, and they're navigating them before they celebrate the 30th birthday. So they had set all these rules and they had recorded these videos of them saying what they want to do before they turn 30, or by the time where they want to be by the time they turn 30. And so this is them. It's their last year of being 29 and they're getting to 30 years old. So at the first scene, we start with Linda. Linda is a girl like me who has daddy issues, like totally, yeah, because the man walked away. Anyway, she is there and we start with her making love to her boyfriend who is Lehumo. And so she and Lehumo are there doing their thing. And so once they're done, because they're engaged, by the way, once they're done, he's like, hey, you haven't said you love me since we got engaged. What's up? And so she, she behaves weirdly. And he's like, unless we're not getting married or something like that. And she's like, so she says something like, I feel like you love me more than I love you. And in order to get married, you're supposed to love each other the same amount or something like that. And so he gets the message and she returns the ring and he leaves. And so she's just canceled her engagement, which is something that she does apparently because they're celebrating Nolwazi's birthday on that day. So they all go to her place and they're talking to her. And so they're catching up as girlfriends usually do. And so she says, I broke up with Lehomo today. And so they tell her, like, oh, you always do this. They start talking about every other guy that she has dumped when things got serious. And so they talk about that, the ladies. And then all the other friends, they continue talking about their own personal things, what is happening with them. Because there was this other friend, DK lady has a child with Tebogo. But this guy is a deadbeat who they don't live together. He usually comes to see her, but then most of the time he just comes like late at night just to dance the tango, in quotes, with DK lady. But he doesn't really show up for his daughter. Like this time, the daughter was waiting for him and he came at night, late at night, spent the night with the lady, and then in the morning he woke up and left before he even saw his daughter. He didn't even go just to her room and say good night or good morning or just tell her that daddy is not going to be here for you. He actually left the lady to tell the daughter that. And the daughter was looking forward to spending the whole day with the dad. So he's a deadbeat. He's a terrible, terrible man. Anyway, during the birthday, the ladies were talking and Nolwazi, it was her birthday, but she wasn't drinking. Because earlier that day she had taken a test and she had found out that she was pregnant. And just to preempt this, the baby daddy is Tebogo. Yes, her best friend's baby daddy. And what happened between them is that she got drunk one time. She was at a club. He came in as well. And they started talking. They both got shitty drunk. And they ended up in bed together. So that's what happened. Like one mistake, one night's mistake. And I know I'm not even trying to defend her, but I get it. Like I understood because she woke up in the morning. She was like, what the F did I just do? But anyway, you shouldn't put yourself in situations where that can happen, especially if you know that this person belongs to one of your friends, your sister, or somebody that you know, or belongs to anybody really. So, yeah. So she tells their friends that she's pregnant and they're like, okay, I'm going to be there for you. But who's the baby daddy? She starts crying. She doesn't tell them because she's ashamed about it and she can't tell her friend what she did. So she has this secret that she's carrying, and that friend group is where she goes and tells her secrets, but she can't tell this one. So anyway, they leave from that party, and so everybody goes on to their lives. And so that's when DK lady goes home to find Tebogo there, and Nolwazi goes to her place. She lives by herself. Linda goes back home. The mom is sick. She has been sick, so she goes to see the mom, I think. Or yeah, I think she went to see the mom. And Shade, she's dating this bastard of a man, guy Winston. Yo. So anyway, let's just continue the story. So Linda's mom is sick. She has been sick. She has, I think, type 2 diabetes. And so she's been undergoing treatment. But Linda brings her home to be with her and take care of her. The mom didn't want to go to a nursing home. So Linda offered to stay with her at her place. And so the mom was asking her about the about Lehumo and what happened, and they talk about that. And so the ladies keep meeting because every one of these friends has a birthday at some point. And so they keep meeting, and every time they meet, something else is revealed. So Nolwazi tells Tebogo that she's pregnant, and this man doubles down on Dikeledi now, because after that night that they spent together, he left Ali without seeing the daughter. And when Nolwazi told him that she is pregnant by him, this man was like, so when are you removing the pregnancy? She was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, you can't ruin this for me and Dikeledi and my daughter, my family, I want them, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, too late to think that. You already ruined things. Like, you are a man, you're in a relationship with this woman, but you can be replaced, surely. But friends, like you've already messed that friend group, and now you're telling her to get an abortion, and that you want to concentrate on your family, something that you have never done. These men were upsetting me. But yeah, so she stands her ground and she's like, I'm not going to do that. So he leaves, and then he goes and proposes to the lady. He shows up at her home, makes the daughter ask the mom, make the mom go out with them for lunch, and they go, and while they're there having this, the daughter was having a milkshake, and I was like, oh my god, I really want one. I really miss a strawberry milkshake. Yeah, I went there for a while. I just imagine and try to remember the last time I had a milkshake, and oh god. Anyway, so he proposes to her in front of his daughter and in front of people in a restaurant. So, of course, she had to say yes. And she was happy that finally this man is coming around, because he has not been serious in the past and now he's doing this. So, it means that he's very serious about me and about our relationship. And I was like, my girl, like, no, he's not the one. He's not it. And this man knows fully well that he's gotten the lady's friend pregnant. But now he's here doubling down on her and like being, you know what, let's get married. Amen. So anyway, that happens. She goes back home and announces it. She takes a photo of the ring and posts it on their like sort of a WhatsApp chat group, like their group of friends. So on their WhatsApp chat, something like that. And so she posts it there, and Shade and Linda, they say congratulations, but Nolwazi sees it and she just starts like crying. She was very sad about it, because she was like, what is this? She was feeling like she was betraying her friend, which she was, and I get it, but it was tough. So anyway, she works at a fashion company. They design clothes and stuff like that. And she had just won something big, and her boss offered that for her to be the main designer during a fashion show that was coming. And so she starts working on that. She was having like designer block. I don't know if there's something like that, like, writer's block. So she was having that, and she had to do like a design from like the one she auditioned to work in that company with. And the boss found out later, and he was upset with her. He told her as much, and it was like, you have to work as a team, blah blah blah. Even great designers need some help from people, so do that. And so they ended up doing that, and it worked out. But as for Tebogo, he kept insisting, because she sent him a message like, I'm going for my first doctor's visit on this date, and he was like, I told her I don't want to be a part of that. And he did that again during Sade's bridal shower. And he sent another message, and that's how Linda and Sade got to know that her baby daddy is Tebogo. So like, this man was just terrible. And then at the wedding, also he came and he said something as well, and that's how the lady came to find out. So that man was just the ghetto. He was just, I don't know, trash. But anyway, let's go back to DK Lady. So DK Lady goes through all this thing with Tebogo. She feels like she's getting married and she's waiting for it. She's happy. The daughter is happy. And she's talking about Lobola. Yeah. They're waiting for the Lobola, and this man is not doing anything else. He proposed and asked them to move in with him. They did. And the lady one time makes his favorite dish and everything. This man does not show up. So of course she feels rejected and all of this. They argue a little bit when he finally comes. And so there's this professor, Professor Kwame. They teach in the same university, I think. And so she had seen him at the beginning of the movie on TV. And so she knows that they work together in the same uni. But the guy has a crush on her. So they meet there for Nini a while, and he asks her for lunch at some point, and they go and have lunch. And at the end of it, he kisses her or something. They go to dancing school. She wanted to start dancing. She wanted to do something for herself, something that makes her happy. And so she joins this dancing school, and he was a part of it. And so they danced together. So they'd kissed once, but she pulled away. She was like, yeah, I can't do this. But yeah, so that was the lady. But Linda had met another guy at the hospital, and she had gone to see her mom. So there was this guy who was getting the last flower, the last bouquet of flowers, and she wanted to buy it as well, and that was the last one. And so they have this little conversation where she's like, I would give it to you, but you don't know my sister, and she's just delivered a baby. I'm going to be an uncle. I'm like, you're not going to be an uncle. You already are an uncle. If she's already delivered a baby, you already are an uncle. But anyway, they have this conversation, and so he's like, but I can make it up to you. And so they talk it out, and they go out for some meal. I don't remember if it was dinner or what it was. And as they talk, they kiss, and she pulls back as well, because she's like, I've just been out of an engagement, and I just think that I should sit with myself and try to figure things out for myself before I get into another relationship. And he understands. And so that was Linda. Anyway, let me just continue with the whole story for these people so that I can finish. So anyway, Linda does the thing. She talks to him. Linda talks to him, and he understands. And so that whole thing, they put it on a pause, but I think they still are friends. They talk on the down low and stuff. So her mom passes on later on, which was very, very sad. And she had gotten in contact with her dad. So they'd been chatting and stuff even before. And she told this to her mom while the mom had gone back to hospital, or was she at home? And she had come from an evening out. I think it was the night she came back from the date with that guy. I don't remember, but yeah, she had told the mom, so the mom knew that they were in contact. Apparently, the mom had been talking to the dad from even before. It's just that she didn't know. And so the mom was like, it's okay, he's your dad, you can reach out, it's fine. And so that is Linda's story. Shade is dating this man who believes that he's the Messiah incarnate. That is Winston. Winston is a terrible, terrible human being. This man is a gaslighter. This man is a narcissist. This man is the worst kind. He and her are not intimate, but they are engaged. So they go through all these things, and he insists on Shade joining this prayer group from their church, and he insists on her dressing a certain way, especially on those church gatherings, so that she does not compete with the pastor's wife. And the moment he said that, that was when I was like, yo, what? There's something going on between this man and that pastor's wife, because it's not for free. He put himself in Shade's business and was like, that pastor's wife is the one who's going to be her maid of honor during their wedding. She had the intentions of letting her girlfriends to be with her on her wedding day. But the man was like, the pastor's wife is the one who's going to be doing this. And so she felt some type of way, but she couldn't say anything. Everything was church this, church that. If she decides to go against him, he's like, let's pray on that. Let's do this on that. And all of these nonsensical things. There's this one time after their bridal shower. So that night, the guy went to his bachelor party. Because Sade is not supposed to be entertaining anybody because it's ungodly. She went and slept. The only party she had was a bridal shower. And so she was in her bed, but then she texted him. She was like, hope you are having your bachelor party and it's going well, blah, blah, blah. Tell me when you get home, or something to that effect. And so this guy texts back and is like, I'm at your door, open. So she goes and he's banging on the door and yelling. And she opens the door and this man comes in and he's furious, yelling at her, wanting to pounce on her because you are a liar, calling her a liar because apparently he thought that she was a virgin. And she's like, I never told you I was a virgin. Like, do you know what the embarrassment I went through at my bachelor's party? Like, one of my clients told me that he had, intimacy with you at some point. Like, he had danced the tango with you at some point. And the lady is like, that was a long time ago. And what's the matter even? You and I both have passed. And he's like, no, you embarrassed me, blah, blah, blah. And he actually smacks her. And she falls down and she's bleeding from her lip. And this man wants to beat her up because of her past. Honestly. Like, before I knew you, I had a life. But you want to start beating me up because of that. So anyway, the next day was her birthday, which I just don't know. The other ladies come to surprise her, but the time they get there, she's there crying, sat on a couch, and the ladies come in and ask her what happened, and she tells them, and they're like, okay, then you should, it's a good thing that there's not going to be a wedding. And she looks at them and she's like, no, because this woman was getting married because of her parents and because of this Winston guy. Because of the church, they're not going to judge her, blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of nonsensical things. She should have cancelled that wedding that day. Because ladies, listen to me and listen properly. If he starts beating you before the wedding, there's no way he's going to change after the wedding. And somebody who lays his hands on you because of something that you did before you even met him, that is not a person that you are going to get married to. She should have cancelled that wedding then. It's better you don't have a wedding and embarrass people. I don't know, whatever. Cancel everything. Lose money if you have to. But don't get married only to annul your marriage or get divorced a few months or weeks after because you married the wrong guy. And you realize that in marriage, this man already showed her he's a beast, that he's a terrible human being. But she just didn't. She was like, maybe I'll change him or he'll change. I don't know. So anyway, they finally get married. And during the wedding, that's when the lady finds out that the baby Nolwazi is carrying is the Bogos. And so they argue before they get to the reception and everything. And after the marriage, this guy, Winston, he tells Sade that her friends are not married. So a married woman should not be hanging out with women who are not married. Something that happened in my personal life with a personal friend. I mean, narcissist, yeah? And so she is conflicted about that because she has lost so much because of this man, because of the church. And he's like, yeah, you have to stop working as well. You're a married woman now, so you cannot continue working. Because if you continue working, people are going to think that your man is not providing for you. And I'm like, Tofia kwa shindwe riso. Pepo chafu. Because tell me why. And that's how narcissists operate, by the way. They'll pull you away from everything so that you can solely depend on them, and then they'll crush you from the inside out. And by the time you realize that you have lost all parts of you, my friend, it's going to be too late. But lucky for her, she was seeing these things. It's just, I do not understand why she still got married. But anyway, this man continued doing that. Another thing, he had refused to dance the tango with her. Completely refused to be intimate. And tell me which woman wouldn't feel like she's being rejected or unwanted. Tell me who wouldn't feel rejected. Who wouldn't feel like I'm just wasting my time? Because even as you were saying, like, I'm your husband, people are going to say blah, blah, blah. She was like, what husband? You're not my husband. What husband doesn't want to make love to his wife? And he was like, he's still upset. The reason he's not doing it is because he's still upset that she had lied to him about having slept with somebody in her past. So he's still upset with her and she should repent. And she's like, I've prayed to God. I've repented. I've asked God for forgiveness and guidance. And he's like, but have you asked me for forgiveness? And she does. She goes like, I'm sorry. And I was yelling in my house. Sorry for what? What are you sorry for? Why are you apologizing? And that man still didn't touch her. And I was like, this man and that pastor's wife, I beg, there's something. Because there's no man who will do that. But anyway, so He's tried to pull her away from her friends and everything. Their friends are not talking, by the way, because after the bridal shower, Sade's bridal shower, the friends came to know that Tebogo is Nolwazi's baby daddy. And they were like, okay, but Nolwazi was like, don't tell Dike Lady because I want to be the one to tell her. And so they had kept quiet, but they were feeling uncomfortable, of course. And so during the wedding, they were going to reception. So that's when the lady finds out. And as she's yelling at these two, at Nolwazi and Tebogo, the other friends come, that is Shade and Linda. And Makiu is Shade's wedding. And Linda, they come and the lady asks them, did you guys know about this? And they all keep quiet and look guilty and everything. And she's like, okay, fine. You all knew and none of you told me. I was like, why didn't they defend themselves and say, like, we just knew and Nolwazi told us that she wanted to be the one to tell you. So that's why we didn't say anything. But anyway, they let her walk away. She takes her daughter and they go away. And this man, Tebogo, blames Nolwazi. And he had actually told her that if you tell her, I'm going to say that you're the one who seduced me. And I was like, and you think that she will accept that? So anyway, she walks off. Now, she's not talking to her friends, and Shade is being told by the husband not to talk to the friends as well. So Nolwazi goes and continues with her show, the designing, and she does this show and calls it KD. That is a short form for DK Lady. And so there's this whole thing, they are making designer clothes, blah blah blah, and the fashion show day comes. So while the ladies walk down the aisle, she's there, she doesn't know what's happening on the outside, but then Linda's mom passes on. And so that was a terrible moment for her. She writes it in the group chat. And so actually, no, before her mom passes on, it was Dike Lady's birthday. And so the ladies come to surprise her and she chases them away. She's like, why did you come here? Blah, blah, blah. Because she's still upset with what happened at the wedding. And so she sends them off. So they're all upset. And yeah, that's when now Linda's mom passes on. But she has spoken to Kwame, Professor Kwame, who had also come in to wish her a happy birthday at the office and sang her happy birthday and advised her actually. And she was like, yeah, it is my day. I knew these ladies before I knew Tebogo, and because of him, I got upset at them. And today it was my birthday and they still showed up and I still was like upset with them and I chased them away and they still showed up. Even knowing that I was upset with them, they still showed up for me today on my birthday. So she was thinking about forgiving them, actually all of them. So Linda posted on the group chat, like her mom is dead. Actually, it was on Instagram. And so each and every one of the ladies sees the message separately, apart from Nolwazi because she was busy backstage with the fashion show. And so Dike Lady goes to Linda's place to, mourn with her. When she gets there, she meets the dad, like, Linda's dad. That made up, actually, they'd had this conversation that was long overdue. That is Linda and the dad, and she had really yelled some things, and I was like, yeah, I agree with you, because I've been hurt by my parents, and I've always said this, that the only time I'll forgive them is if they asked for forgiveness. Because she was talking to him and it was like, blah, 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 trying to create excuses. And she was like, I don't need your excuses. All I need to hear from you is, sorry, Linda. I messed up, Linda. I should have done better, Linda. And that's what I say. Don't come and tell me wewe ni mtoto kichwa ngumu sijui nini utaki kusikia blah blah. All these things, they're just nonsense. You say, I'm sorry, Mildred. I messed up, Mildred. I'm so sorry that I wasn't the parent that you expected. I wasn't the parent that you needed. I wasn't the parent that I was supposed to be to you. And that's the only way we move forward. Otherwise, ingine yote ni makelele. I don't need to hear anything else. So when Linda was talking to the dad, I was like, yeah, I'm with you. And I don't know this thing about African parents that they think the child is the one who's supposed to apologize. The child is the one who's supposed to look for the parent. For what? Linda was like, no. Don't make it my responsibility to be the one to reach out and to be the one to seek a relationship with you. Just don't do that. And I was there with her. So anyway, they hashed it out. And so Dike Lady goes and they mourn together. While they're there, I think Sade is at home. She's been told by the husband not to indulge with her friends, not to go to them. So she has seen the message. Like even that guy that they went on that one date with and kissed at the restaurant, even that guy had sent his condolences. But Shade hadn't, because she was thinking and looking at this guy who's just typing on his computer, on his laptop. And I'm like, yo, you're in trouble, girl, just leave. The door is right there, leave. So while that is happening at the fashion show, the ladies walk down the aisle. And then, of course, Nolwazi comes out, people are clapping, and then she touches her stomach, she's in pain, she's rushed to the hospital, and they tell her that she has to undergo a cesarean section. So that happens. So Dike Lady sends a message to Sade and tells her, because the other girls were together, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Linda and Dike Lady were together. Because Dike Lady was Nolwazi's emergency contact. And so they went. And so they sent a message to Sade. And so she tells the husband that I have to go. Sade's in the hospital. I just have to go. The man is like, I told you, you cannot be with those ladies. And she's like, well, I'm going. You cannot leave this house. And she goes like, well, I'm leaving. She removes her apron. She was in the kitchen. She removes her apron and she's walking out. And the man goes like, don't ever come back. I don't know. Like he threatens her with something. Like about leaving, walking out of that door, blah, blah, blah. And so she still leaves. And then she goes with the friends. They're there, they're worried. And she apologizes to Linda and tells her condolences. And they're just there in the hospital waiting until the doctor comes and tells them that Nolwazi and the baby are both okay. And she gave birth to her daughter as well. And so, yeah, they're happy. They go into the room. And while they're there, that's when Linda tells Nolwazi, like, I don't know if you heard, but my mom passed. And so they mourn, blah, blah, blah. She names her daughter after Linda's mom, which was a very, very beautiful thing, I should say. Like, it was a very beautiful thing that she did for Linda, because she'll always see this baby and see like her mom, because the mom died. And it was very sad because it was one, Linda's birthday, two, the mom died, and three, Nolwazi gave birth. So it was like 2 birthdays. Now they're going to be celebrating Linda's birthday and the baby's birthday and Linda's mom's death anniversary on the same day. Like, I know it's like a sad day, but it's also a happy day. So I was like, yeah, you girls, like it's painful, but it's also a day full of happiness and everything. Like Linda will always remember that her mom died on her birthday, but then there's this other beautiful soul that was born on the same day, including herself. So yeah, it was a beautiful scene that they had over there. And so Nani goes back home. Shade goes back home. She had told the ladies that she's going to leave Winston. And so she goes back home and starts packing her things to leave. And while she's carrying her things moving around the house, she hears some noises. And when she goes to check, she finds her husband with the pastor's wife dancing the tango on top of the bed, completely butt naked. Like, how do you do that in your own marital home? Like, who does that with your pastor's wife? And so she takes a photo and she's like, you know what? This divorce is going to be very interesting. And this man has the guts to shout, like, can you at least lock the door on your way out? And like, what? It was very, very crazy. But anyway, the movie ends with the ladies in, I don't know whose house. I think they were in Linda's home, because Linda's dad was there, and that guy that she had met at the hospital with the flowers was also there. They've started dating, and so she has healed from her daddy issues, and her dad is there with her. So she lost the mom, but the dad came back, and she's gotten a new boyfriend. Dike Lady is with Professor Kwame, and Shade is, starting over. So they were there anyway. Professor Kwame wasn't there in the room. I'm just saying that is how they ended up. But in the house, it was just them, the ladies, and the one guy, and Linda's dad, and then the young girls. So Tebogo's daughters. The Lady and Olwazi's daughters. So she was playing with her little sister. And in a way, I felt that that was good because, yes, what happened in order for this child to be born was wrong. Like Tebogo and Nolwazi being together was definitely wrong. I don't know if I would forgive my friend, but then I feel like I would in that situation because Tebogo was just trash. Like, I understand they were both drunk. I would be upset, like, totally. But he wasn't her husband, and the relationship wasn't, like, that strong. So I get it. I would forgive her because I'd rather not lose both on the same day, like this man and my best friend. And to if I were to choose between my best friend and the man, I would choose my best friend because of where they've come from, their history together, and all of that. And at the end of the day, this baby that Nolwazi had is Dikeledi's daughter's sister. So you have to keep that. You have to keep them together and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, life is just hard, yo. Hey, friendships and relationships, they're all just hard. But anyway, it ended happily with all the ladies happy, which is something that was very beautiful. Tebogo wasn't shown anymore, so I don't know what happened to him. I wish we would have been told what happened. Like, where did he go? Did he try to fight for custody, or did he just disappear or something? I don't know if he tried to reach out to the lady again. I don't know. I hope he didn't because it's just trash. But anyway, the best story there was Linda's. Even though she lost her mom, she regained her dad who came back into her life, and he had explained that, yeah, I know I did wrong. I wanted to be there for you, but embarrassment plus, all of these things made me not come back. But he apologized and they moved on, which was very good. Like, that's a relationship you can take back. But a man, Tebogo, no, trash. Winston, double trash. I hated that man. Yo. I hated him when I first watched this movie. I hated him when I rewatched it this time. So, yeah, that is Love, Sex, and 30 Candles. I loved everything about this movie. I love the characters. I love the chemistry between all of them. The acting was amazing. The music, I remember they did doobie 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 doo. Forgive my singing, I'm terrible. But yeah, I remember their song. Like, it's a movie that I watched and I remembered at least one of the songs. And so I really loved it. And the only plot hole I saw was like, yeah, where did Tebogo end up? Because what happened to him? I know for, like, of course, Winston, the embarrassment and the charge and everything, but I wish there would have been a part two or something like that where we'll see his embarrassment, because you cannot be treating your woman like that while you're sleeping with the pastor's wife. I mean, who does that? Who does that? But anyway, the girls were all shining, so I loved it. And yeah, I didn't feel like there were any characters that were necessarily there. Even Efri, like, that is Nicoloise's boss. They were all, they played an important part, and I loved it. I just loved everything about the movie. It wasn't too much, it just fit in and it told its story. And I wish I could read the book. Actually, I want to read the book, the 30 Candles. I want to read someday. So yeah, it was such, I mean, it's a beautiful movie. It was set in Johannesburg. They didn't show so much of it. It's just from one place to the other. Mostly they were indoors most of the time, and I enjoyed that. So it's a good movie that you can watch. Do not watch it with kids. It's rated 18. So don't watch it with kids. It's not a Sunday afternoon movie unless you're alone and you're an adult. So that's the only time you can watch it. The direction was good. Cinematography was good. As I said, I love the music, the editing, everything about it was good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because I loved it. I just simply loved it. And even if there are issues with it, maybe there are, but I don't remember saying them. I was just in love with these ladies and their personal growth. I was sad for Sade for most of the time because I was like, why are you taking this? Why? And the lady is so beautiful. Oh my God. Like, for a man to cheat, like, what do men want? For a man to cheat on a babe like the lady, I mean, it's just crazy. And with one of her friends, drunk or not, that was just crazy. Linda's, problems I got and I understood them personally. at a very, very personal level. And so yeah, I loved it. It's a movie that I'll definitely watch again, maybe next year. It can be like how I do with a lot of series from the past, like Akina Scandal, Jane the Virgin, and I don't know, Queen of the South, and all of these other series and Friends, that I watch every once a year. I repeat them every year. Maybe I can do Love, Sex, and 30 Candles every year because it's just a lovely reminder of friendships and of personal growth and, the goals that you set for yourself, and understanding that even though you're not there yet, by the time that the time is up, the time that you had set for yourself, I mean, like, it doesn't mean that it's the end of it. You can still achieve them. All the goals that these ladies had set at the beginning, like, they were showing towards everyone's birthday, or on their birthdays rather, they were showing that clip that they had made a while ago in their 20s. Well, they were saying, by the time I'm turning 30, I want to have achieved A, B, C, D. And most of them hadn't achieved what they had wanted, but they're on the track for it. And that, I think, is what truly matters. So please go to Netflix and watch it. It's an amazing movie. As I've said, you will love it as much as I did, but if you won't, it's okay. Come back and tell me if you agree with me or if you do not, and I will listen. Comment in the comment section below. Go to my Instagram, Mimi's Musings Podcast, and DM me over there, or comment on the post that I'll put on the day that this review comes out. And I'll be super happy to chat with you for a little bit if you are interested in that. Then other than that, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I post something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and listen. Okay?